Hello everyone, we are discussing pulley based questions. Look at this example. It's a frictionless table. And at this end, we have a frictionless pulley. There is no friction anywhere. Friction is zero, it's not present. Two blocks of M1 and M2 are arranged in this form, and it's given that M2 is greater than M1. This is heavy. Find out acceleration of the system and tension force in the rope. Acceleration with which these two blocks move and tension force in the rope. Wrote down the question. Don't forget, friction is zero. It's a massless rope. This is M1, this is M2. M2 is greater than M1. Should not take more than a minute. Let's see how many of you can answer this. Tell me one thing. If M2 is heavy, as you can see in the figure, then is it going to move? It's a lighter mass, it's a heavier mass. What do you think? This system is going to move, yes or no? What do you think? Mention in the form of yes and no. Well, that's what I expected from you, that you will say it cannot move. But let me tell you, this thing is going to move because there is no friction. आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है? ये हैवी ब्लॉक है, इसलिए ये लाइटर वेट इस चीज को मूव नहीं करा सकती. Let's see if free body diagram can help us in deciding acceleration and other things. Downward force m1g, weight of the body. Tension force, everybody knows it acts away from the body, it's a pulling force. It's a massless rope and therefore this is also T, away from the body. On this M2, there is a downward force of M2G. But tell me one thing. This M2G, this T, other than these two, there is a third force also which is present on M2. What is that third force? Write down in the comment box. And that's how we decide how things move. There is a third force acting on M2. What is that? Good, that's the answer. Normal reaction force. Remember, there is no friction. This M2 is lying on a horizontal surface like this. This is M2. But it's not coming down. If it is not coming down, then M2G is being balanced by a force which is this, which you all know is called what? N, normal reaction force. N is acting over here perpendicular to the contact surface and towards the body. This is your N. This is M2G. If it moves, let's say if it moves, suppose you still think that it's not moving, but for the time being, let's say it moves, but I'm sure that you know that it will come down only. If it moves with acceleration A, then this M2 is also going to move in this direction with same acceleration A. A. Now, this acceleration is being produced by which force? Tension force, T, M2G or N? What do you think is the correct force which can move M2? Good. this T is responsible for its movement. Then what is that which is going to stop M2 from moving? Nothing. Why nothing? This M2G and N, they are balancing each other in this way. N is simply M2G. N is balancing what? M2G. Now, if N balances M2G, then the only force left which is acting on the block is T. And first of all, why do I say they are balancing each other? This is the block, and you have seen the questions of lift. If lift goes up and down, then this N changes. But this table is fixed, it's rigid. This block can only move horizontally like this. It cannot move up and down. If it cannot move up and down, then this N is balancing M2G. This T is the only force left acting on M2, which is producing this acceleration A. और आपको जो लगा था कि ये हैवी है इसलिए ये आगे नहीं जा पाएगा, तो आपने इसे रियल लाइफ सिचुएशन के साथ विजुलाइज किया. इसमें आपका कोई फॉल्ट भी नहीं है. बट रिमेंबर, एज आई टोल्ड यू, इन द होल सेटअप फ्रिक्शन is 0. There is nothing here which is going to stop it. When we'll see questions of friction, a frictional force will develop at the contact surface which will act in this direction later on. That is going to oppose M2 from moving. But right now there is no friction, and therefore this M2 cannot be stopped. कैसे? इस एग्जाम्पल से समझना. सपोज आपने यहां पर एक छोटी सी चींटी को लटका दिया, छोटी सी, टाइनी, and this is a big elephant. Just imagine. But there is no friction between elephant and ground if सपोज आपने उसको कुछ इस तरह के व्हील्स दे दिए जहां पर कोई फ्रिक्शन नहीं है. जस्ट इमेजिन. तो ये जो छोटी सी चींटी है, ये इस हाथी को खींचकर नीचे ले आएगी. रियल लाइफ में इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. व्हाई? बिकॉज फ्रिक्शन इज प्रेजेंट. बट इन दिस सिचुएशन, एज देयर इज नो फ्रिक्शन, there is nothing which can stop this system from moving, and therefore you will definitely see an acceleration. I hope ये point clear हो गया होगा कि ये क्यों move करेगा. जितने लोगों ने no लिखा था movement के लिए, if they understand that there is no way you can stop it, it definitely is going to move. If you understand this logic, then write down yes in the comment box. Now, once you say that you have shown all the forces and acceleration, next thing is we write F equals to ma. For m1, equation is, do one thing, write down F equals to ma, this equation for m1 fast. In just 5 seconds, write down the equation for m1 the way we write total force equals to mass into acceleration. Do it fast. क्या तरीका है अपने पास? या तो हमने लिखना है T माइनस M1G, या हमने क्या लिखना है M1G माइनस T. Which one is dominating? And therefore equation is m1g minus t mass into acceleration. This is your equation number 1. There are two unknowns and therefore you need two equations. Second equation, you will write it for m2. Now, for m2, which one is correct? T minus m2g equals to m2a, or m2g minus t equals to m2a. Which one is correct for m2? First or second? What is your answer? Mention this in the comment box. For m2, I should take t minus m2g or m2g minus t. कुछ लोगों ने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया. They both are not correct. Why? ये जो m2g है, इसके इफेक्ट को किसने खत्म कर दिया? n. n is balancing what? m2g. And therefore, only force acting on m2 is what? T, which is producing an acceleration of A in m2. इस m2 का movement किस तरफ है? In the horizontal direction. Horizontally कौन सा force काम कर रहा है? T. And therefore you write T equals to m2a, which gives you second equation. These two are not correct. You will write like this and then make a cross. Now look at the other logic why these two things are wrong, and this is the important logic. Everybody knows that if you have a vector, then contribution or effect of this vector in a direction which is perpendicular to the vector is always 0. If you have a vector f, then everybody knows that if this angle is theta, this component, we call it what? F cos theta. If I say that theta is 90, then you know that cos 90 is what? 0. इसको अपन क्या बोलते हैं कि अगर mg कहाँ लग रहा है? नीचे. तो इस mg का नीचे means कहाँ लग रहा है? Vertically downwards. Any vertical force, its horizontal contribution will be what? 0. Similarly, contribution of this t in this direction will be 0. And therefore, only force which is producing acceleration is t. m2g and n, they cannot appear in this form. This is an important statement. Write down this. Write down this. Any vector has 0 contribution inside the bracket effect. Any vector has 0 contribution in a direction which is perpendicular to the direction of vector itself. And you can draw this figure, this much information with this statement. Because of this, M2G and normal reaction N, because of this M2G and normal reaction N cannot participate in the acceleration of M2. यहां पर करेगा, क्यों करेगा? वर्टिकल फोर्सेस, वर्टिकल एक्सेलरेशन, यहां पर नहीं करेगा। एक बार इतना किया, क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट है। There are two equations. Simply add these equations. This is m1g minus t, that is t equals to m2g. When you add these, left side minus t, they're gone, and you get, simply write equation number 1 plus equation number 2, not a difficult task. You get the right hand side, left hand side is only m1g, t and t gone. This m2a and this m1a, it becomes m1 plus m2 times a, thus giving you acceleration as m1g divided by m1 plus m2. That's your acceleration. And once you found acceleration, finding tension is a one-line statement. What is T? T is m2 multiplied by a, which is this m1g divided by m1 plus m2. That's your tension force, and this is your acceleration. Note down this. Now answer next part of the question. Find out force acting on the pulley coming from the rope. What is the force which this rope exerts on the pulley? Force exerted by the rope on the pulley. and you can answer this thing in just 10 seconds. I'll give you a hint. Maybe that will help you in answering this question. And the hint is force is a vector quantity. Force is a vector quantity. Let's see if you can answer this question now. The second hint is draw the free body diagram of pulley and show all the forces which are acting on it coming from the rope. And you will understand what I am trying to say. Taking too long. टेंशन कहाँ लगता है? अवे फ्रॉम द बॉडी. लेकिन अब बात हो रही है पुली की. अवे फ्रॉम द बॉडी. अवे फ्रॉम द बॉडी. So if somebody draws free body diagram of this pulley, then this is T, this is T. These are the two forces which are acting on the pulley coming from the rope. When I say find out force on the pulley, some of you have answered T plus T, which is not correct. And why it's not correct? I gave you the hint. Force is a vector quantity. What is the angle between these two? 90. Horizontal, vertical. In such a situation, how do you find total? Whenever you have two forces which are perpendicular to each other, resultant is given by this. And therefore, answer is T root 2. Now, what is the direction of this force? Well, this is T, this is T. They are of equal magnitude, and therefore the resultant will be acting in this direction. This is the force F. So what is this half angle? This half angle will be what? 45 degrees. So net force which is acting on the pulley is coming like this. समझना, ये रोप के दोनों पार्ट इस पुली को इस तरफ पुश कर रहे हैं. Because of this, you need to provide a support like this. ये सपोर्ट क्या कर रहा है, जो टेबल से आ रहा है, रोप पुली को इस तरफ पुश कर रही है, ये सपोर्ट इधर पुश कर रहा है, and that's how this pulley is kept at rest. It's not moving like this because of T root 2 and 45. Note down this. Good. दो लोगों ने आंसर दिया, बहुत सही. Write down motion of an object on an inclined plane. And then we'll go questions of pulley and all with the inclined plane also. Write down motion of an object on an inclined plane. Motion on an inclined plane. This is an inclined plane, inclined surface. Angle of the incline with horizontal is theta. This is the incline, and the angle which it makes with horizontal is theta. An object is going to slide down like this. It's a fixed incline. Later on we'll see the incline which can also move. But as of now, this surface, it does not move. On top of this surface, we have an object of mass m, And remember, unless I say there is no friction, zero. Now, draw this figure fast. I'm giving you 15 seconds. Show all the forces which are acting on this block. That is, I'm asking you to draw its free body diagram. Show all the forces which you think are acting on this body. Show them with proper direction. This is sufficient time. First force is weight of the object, mg. Most probably ये हर आदमी ने दिखा दिया होगा, बॉडी का वेट. The other force, कोई रोप कनेक्टेड नहीं है, इसका मतलब टेंशन आएगा नहीं, फ्रिक्शन मना कर दिया मैंने. But you can see that M is in contact with the inclined plane over here. And at the contact surface, you get what? Normal reaction force, which acts towards the body. N, which is acting perpendicular to the contact surface and towards the body. If you have shown these forces just like this with proper arrows, then write yes in the comment box. और अगर आपने draw नहीं किया था, then draw it now. Now, as I told you that this M is free to slide on the incline. So this is your incline. And this body is going to slide down. As it slides down, it slides down with some acceleration A. Our aim is to find A and normal reaction. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Take 1 minute. Find me A and normal reaction. अगर आपसे ना हो तो परेशान मत होना. अब इस अप्रोच को सीख रहे हैं. हालांकि जितनी नॉलेज चाहिए इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए वो आपके पास है. Let me see who can answer A and N without my help. Well, I just saw one of you is saying that video keeps freezing. Is this the problem with everyone? Yes or no? Or can you see things properly? Okay, then but people are saying yes and no. No, I'm confused. The person who, okay, it's clear. Good. The one who is finding things are not clear, just disconnect and reconnect, and everything will be okay then. And today's lecture is very important. If you're not able to see the video and all, there is no clarity and all, then don't forget to ask for the recording tomorrow. Now, since nobody has answered N and Mg, tell me which one is correct. Mg minus N equals to Ma, or N minus Mg equals to Ma. Which one is correct, first or second? For this, is it Mg minus N, or the third, N plus Mg, or the fourth, which is root over N square plus M square G square equals to Ma. Which one is correct? First, second, third, fourth. बहुत सही. One of you answered correctly. जो बोलना चाहिए था वही बताया. All four are not correct. But one of you answered that third equation is correct, provided we take care of direction part, which is this. The fifth option, N vector plus Mg vector. ये देखना ही नहीं है. किसी ने आपसे बोला बॉडी पर दो फोर्स लग रहे हैं, N, write down N vector. दूसरा है Mg vector is equal to what? Mass into acceleration. खत्म. ये काम नहीं करेगा. क्यों? बताया मैंने आपको. अगर N और Mg इस तरह से कुछ होते कि भाई हमारे पास Mg नीचे लग रहा है, N इस तरफ लग रहा है, बॉडी नीचे जा रही है. In such situation, we use this equation in this form. That is, if all the forces are acting along the same line, then only we write like this. And therefore this is wrong, this is wrong, this is also wrong. This is wrong. There are no vector signs. N plus Mg would be correct if all the forces are acting in the same direction. If Mg and N, they are both acting in the same direction, you will write this. The fourth one, you can write it provided N and Mg are mutually perpendicular. Had it been a situation like this, Mg and N perpendicular, then this would be correct. लेकिन यहाँ पर ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. तो अगर यहाँ ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा, तो ऐसी कौन सी चीज है जो हर जगह होती है? वेक्टर इक्वेशन. व्हाट इज वेक्टर इक्वेशन? टोटल फोर्स. यहां देखना है? नहीं. कहां लग रहा है? मतलब नहीं मेरे को. Vectors will take care of this thing. Now this is the objective part which one can ask you in this. लेकिन I'm giving you 30 seconds more. This is the vector form. You can always write magnitude version like this for this block in terms of N and Mg and mass into acceleration. देखें कौन आंसर दे पाएगा. And there is a small hint for you. which I'll give you after 15 seconds. Today's lecture is conceptually very good one. Anything if you find is confusing, do not hesitate at all. The hint is root over a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Vector sum formula. This is the hint. The other hint is this. हम ये सारी चीजें वेक्टर्स में कर चुके हैं. If we have been given two vectors a and b, an angle between the vectors is theta, then magnitude of a plus b, magnitude of this plus this, vectors में किया हुआ है हमने, is root over a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Now, why did I give you this hint? अब यहां देखना. And just don't worry, इन सबके बाद एक सबसे इजी चीज करेंगे अपन. लेकिन ये जो बता रहा हूं ये कॉन्सेप्ट्स को डेवलप करने की कहानी है. फाइनली जो अप्रोच आएगी एक्सेलरेशन फाइंड करने के लिए वो केवल 5 सेकंड की अप्रोच है, इसलिए डरना मत. लेकिन बिना इन सारी चीजों के फिजिक्स में स्ट्रगल करना पड़ेगा. सो ये जो लिखा हुआ है, क्या लिखा हुआ है, n प्लस एम जी इक्वल्स टू एम ए. नाउ मैंने आपसे बोला व्हाट इज दिस नेट फोर्स. व्हाट इज नेट फोर्स? मास इनटू एक्सेलरेशन. दोनों तरफ मैग्नीट्यूड कर दो इसका. तो मैंने बोला ठीक है भाई, ये बन गया this. Take mod magnitude on both sides. एक बार आपने ये किया, जैसे इतना किया आपने, वैसे ही क्या कहानी बनकर आई कि ये जो राइट साइड है ये तो बड़ी इजी है. एम ए, इसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या आ जाएगा, m इंटू ए. लेकिन ये जो लेफ्ट साइड है, दो वेक्टर्स हैं, उनका मैग्नीट्यूड ये होता है, क्या होता है? दोनों का मैग्नीट्यूड कुछ ये बनेगा, रूट ओवर मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ फर्स्ट वेक्टर, और वेक्टर साइन नहीं लगेगा, प्लस मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ सेकेंड प्लस 2 multiplied by magnitude of first, magnitude of second into cos of, tell me cos के साथ क्या आएगा, and this side is simply m into a. इस तरह की चीज का मैग्नीट्यूड क्या होता है? सीधा सीधा m a. लेकिन इस तरह की चीज का मैग्नीट्यूड क्या होता है? ये. Write down in the comment box, what should I write over here? Fill in the blanks. देखें कितनी अकल है. Only one response. What is theta? Theta is angle between the vectors. कैसे फाइंड करते हैं एंगल? दोनों वेक्टर्स को उनकी टेल से ज्वाइन करो, तब जाकर एंगल मिलता है अपने को. इसका मतलब हमें किसके बीच का एंगल फाइंड करना है? दोनों को टेल से ज्वाइन करो. ये रहा एन, ये रहा एम जी. You cannot simply write this theta. ये जो फॉर्मूले में थीटा है, इसका मतलब दोनों के बीच का एंगल, दोनों की टेल्स को ज्वाइन करने के बाद एन एम जी. Now you need to answer this angle in terms of theta. That's what I'm asking you. Now, can you take help of geometry and answer this? What is this angle? And this thing will appear here. तो बहुत हिंट दे दिया. ये फाइंड करना सिंपल ज्योमेट्री है. देखें कितने लोग निकाल पाएंगे इसको. थोड़ा तो अकल लगानी पड़ेगी भाई. अभी भी लोगों को टाइम लग रहा है, देखो भाई देखना, ये सारी चीजें काम आएंगी, इसलिए केयरफुली देखते जाना कहां कहां काम आएंगी. In this chapter, the next is friction, next is work energy. The whole mechanics is this normal reaction, friction, tension, force and all, and therefore you need to be careful. देखते जाना इधर. mg कहां लग रहा है? वर्टिकली डाउनवर्ड्स. ये रहा, ये जो डायरेक्शन है ये तुम्हारा mg बना दिया मैंने. सिंपली ये जो एज है इसी को mg, बिकॉज वी आर इंटरेस्टेड ओनली इन द एंगल पार्ट. n कहां लग रहा था? ये जो इंक्लाइन पार्ट है n उससे 90 पर है, इंक्लाइन से 90. तो इंक्लाइन से 90 का मतलब दिस. कंफ्यूजन से बचने के लिए ये बना दो. पूछा क्या है मैंने? दिस एंगल. क्या चीज पूछी हुई है मैंने आपसे? आई एम आस्किंग यू दिस. आई एम आस्किंग यू दिस. अब तो ये बच्चों का खेल है, बिकॉज यू नो दिस इज व्हाट थीटा. ये कितना है भाई? थीटा. चाहिए क्या? दिस ब्लू पार्ट. दिस इज थीटा. व्हाट इज दिस? 90 minus theta, and therefore what is the blue thing? 90 plus 90 minus theta. 90 plus 90 minus theta, which is 180 minus theta. Well, tell me this. Do you understand 180 minus theta? Yes or no? Fast. Simple geometry. Now will tell me the value of cos 180 minus theta. What is cos of 180 minus theta? Is it sin theta minus sin theta, cos theta minus cos theta? Now again, if there is anyone who has not seen lectures on trigonometry, then it's a request that make a request after the class and I will give you all those lectures. Without this fundamental maths, बहुत टफ होगा चीजों को समझना. So this cos 180 minus theta, just to save time, I hope आपने यहाँ तक मेंशन कर लिया होगा. Just to save time, this cos 180 minus theta is minus of cos theta. In case किसी ने पहली बार देखा हो तो भाई कहीं लिख लेना. Cos 180 minus theta is minus of cos theta. It's a result for you. Just remember this thing. Cos 180 minus theta minus cos theta. So this could have been a sixth option for you. The fifth option in vector form, its magnitude version m square plus mg square minus 2n mg cos theta is equal to ma. इस तरह से आप ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रोफाइल मेंटेन कर सकते हैं इस क्वेश्चन के अंदर. अब चलते हैं वो जो 5 सेकेंड्स वाली चीज है उसके पास. होपफुली यहां तक की कहानी हर आदमी को क्लियर हो गई होगी. Now let's solve this question with the help of two-dimensional approach. कहां सीखी थी हमने टू डायमेंशनल अप्रोच? प्रोजेक्टाइल मोशन में. प्रोजेक्टाइल मोशन में मैंने आपको क्या बताया था कि भाई अगर चीजें 2D में है, 2D in a plane, whenever you see things in 2D, we resolve them along x and y axis. So that's what we are going to do now. We'll resolve these vectors along x and y. When I say x and y, it means along two mutually perpendicular directions. अब ये पार्ट सबसे काम का है जो अभी हमने किया. दिस वाज कॉन्सेप्चुअल थिंग, कैसे टोटल वेक्टर्स को आप हैंडल करते हो. अब यहां पर देखना भाई, there are two forces acting on this body, n and mg, और मैं इसको यहां पर just a second, हमने क्या किया, ये जो एम है अब इसका एक जो प्रॉपर फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम है अलग से दिखा दे रहा हूं अपने समझने के लिए. वी कैन नाउ शो दिस एम एज अ डॉट. यू कैन ऑलवेज शो द होल थिंग, लेकिन थोड़ा क्लियर बन जाएगी चीज. दिस इज एम जी and this normal reaction मैंने इसको यहां ऐसे दिखा दिया इस तरफ. You cannot change their directions. You can show the full block also. I'm showing only the point as a point. Now the thing is, these two forces or any two vectors or any number of vectors, when they're not pointing in the same direction, we always resolve them along two mutually perpendicular directions. If you are in 3D, along three mutually perpendicular directions. In 2D, you resolve them along two mutually perpendicular directions like x and y. जैसा कि अपन प्रोजेक्टाइल में करते थे, u इसका horizontal component u cos, u इसका vertical component u sin. अब यहां पर दो फोर्सेस हैं, एक है mg और दूसरा है n. किसको रिजॉल्व करना है ये डिसाइड करने का तरीका सीख लेना. ये बॉडी जा कहां रही है, हर आदमी को पता है कि यार ये बॉडी जाएगी कहां, along the incline with this acceleration, and therefore you will do what? You will take an axis which is in the direction of acceleration of the body. हम बाद में ये स्टेटमेंट भी नोट करेंगे, लेकिन अभी के लिए when I say we resolve vectors along x and y, तो आदमी के दिमाग में ये जाता है कि भाई ये होता है x and y, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, any two which are perpendicular. तरीका क्या है, एक एक्सिस हमने चूज कर ली, कैसे चूज की? ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एक्सेलरेशन. एक बार एक एक्सिस चूज हो गई, अब दूसरी आपके लिए क्या होगी? अगर ये x है तो जो y है आपका वो हमेशा x से कहां होगा? 90 पर. थोड़ा सा अच्छे से फिगर दिखे, हमारा n it's pointing like this. Now when you draw it, make sure you also draw the same thing. This n is perpendicular to the red line. Red line ये वाला inclined surface दिख रहा है. This is the red thing, A. This is the red thing. I don't know if you can see the color and all, but this is red color. So this is the red color. This is the second axis. If somebody says that this is x-axis, then this will be called what? Y. The only requirement is that they should be mutually perpendicular, and they are. One is this and the other one is this. Axis decide करने का तरीका क्या बताया? One of the axes should be in the direction of acceleration, the other one should be perpendicular to the first one. We'll write the statement later. Now, anything which is not in the direction of these axes, anything means any vector, that should be resolved. Well, you can see n is already in this direction. We know that acceleration is in this direction. इसी के बेस पर एक्सिस डिसाइड किया है, तो बचा कौन? mg. We have to resolve this mg. Now to resolve a vector, you need to have information of the angle which it makes with the axis system. So you need to find this angle or this angle. We'll go for this. This is theta. कैसे? यहां देखते हैं. ये एक बार डिसाइड करने का, एक बार डिसाइड हो गया फिर आपके दिमाग में हमेशा फिट हो जाएगा. दिस इज द इंक्लाइन. हाउ डू आई से दैट दिस एंगल इज थीटा? फॉरगेट अबाउट रेड एंड ऑल, सिंपली यहां देखना भाई. ये था तुम्हारा y एक्सिस. दिस इज mg. जो y है ध्यान रखना वो n की तरफ पॉइंट कर रहा है. Now this is theta. This is theta. What is this? This is 90 minus theta. If this is 90 minus theta, then what is this? Theta. Simple geometry. आएगा समझ में. Theta. Theta. Now what? यहां देखो. ये जो mg है, इस mg का थीटा मतलब इस तरफ कंपोनेंट क्या बनेगा? mg cos थीटा. किसी भी वेक्टर का अपने से थीटा पर कंपोनेंट क्या होता है? mg cos. This is mg cos. Then what about this component? This component is mg sin theta. Tell me first, do you understand this resolving of mg into its component? Yes or no? Otherwise मैं यहाँ repeat करूँ, otherwise चीजें आगे बढ़ेंगी. फिर जल्दी से इन्फॉर्म करो फास्ट. Do you understand this mg cos and mg sin with the help of this figure and all? Good. Now, अब ये जो चीज मैंने आपको अलग से दिखाई है, मैं सारी कहानी को अब इस फिगर के अंदर ट्रांसफर कर दे रहा हूं इजी बनाने के लिए, चीजें कंफ्यूजिंग नहीं हो इसलिए साइड में दिखाया मैंने आपको, अदरवाइज आप ये भी कर सकते थे। और आगे से यही करना। देखना भाई, इतना टाइम इन सारे एंगल्स एंड ऑल को विजुलाइज कराने के लिए था। आगे से आपके लिए चीज ये होगी m, what is the downward force? mg। इस तरफ क्या लग रहा है? n, this n। then इस m का ये जो एंगल फॉर्म हो रहा है कितना है? थीटा। इस mg का ये जो कंपोनेंट है दिस इज mg cos, ये जो कंपोनेंट है दिस इज mg sin, and this component is in the direction of acceleration. That's all. आगे से इतनी देर से जो क्वेश्चन चल रहा है आपने केवल 5 सेकंड्स में ये करना है। क्या क्या? n, mg किसको रिजॉल्व करेंगे? mg। क्यों करेंगे? क्योंकि n रिजॉल्व नहीं होना है, mg इसलिए रिजॉल्व होगा बिकॉज दिस इज द एक्सिस along which body is moving. So one of the axis is this, the other axis is this. Normal reaction is already along the axis, resolve नहीं होगा, जो नहीं है वो resolve होगा। अब एक बार आपने एक्सिस में resolve किया तो फायदा क्या होता है? What is this axis? Y. What is this? X. एक्सिस में क्यों resolve करते हैं? इस एक्सिस की तरफ कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या होगा? 0। क्यों? किसी भी वेक्टर का अपने से 90 पर कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या होता है? 0। दैट मींस टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल द थिंग्स व्हिच आर एक्टिंग अलोंग y एक्सिस, टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल द थिंग्स व्हिच आर एक्टिंग अलोंग x एक्सिस। दैट मींस हमसे किसी ने बोला कि एक काम करो, x और along the plane इसकी बात करते हैं। along the plane कौन सा फोर्स लग रहा है? mg sin थीटा। क्वेश्चन खत्म होने वाला है, देखना। along the plane कौन सा फोर्स लग रहा है? mg sin। force according to Newton does what? It produces acceleration. mg sin theta equals to ma. mm cancelled, you got a as g sin theta. a फाइंड करना था, डन। दूसरी चीज, ये जो ब्लॉक है ये इस तरफ जा रहा है, क्या ये इस तरफ जा रहा है कहीं? नो। कहां मूव कर रहा है? इस तरफ। विद व्हाट एक्सेलरेशन? ए एक्सेलरेशन का अपने से 90 पर क्या इफेक्ट होगा? 0। मतलब क्या? मतलब ये कि बॉडी केवल क्या कर रही है? स्लिप। इधर क्या ये ऐसे जा रही है? नहीं। इस तरफ कितना फोर्स है? n। क्या बॉडी इधर गई? नहीं। इस तरफ कितना फोर्स है? mg cos। क्या बॉडी इधर आई? नहीं। इसका मतलब इस n ने इस mg cos को क्या कर दिया? बैलेंस। n is balancing mg cos theta. Well, I hope you can say that question can be solved in just 20 seconds if you have all these informations. अब इनको डेवलप करने में टाइम लगता है, but अभी क्लास कब नहीं हुई है, I will take one more minute. Are you comfortable with this? A equals to g sin theta, n equals to mg cos theta. Fast, yes or no? Okay, this is something which is important. पूरी कहानी जो इसके पहले डेवलप हो रही थी, वेक्टर सम एंड ऑल, अच्छा है वो, लेकिन काम का ये है, ज्यादा काम का ये है. Write down few statements. To resolve vectors, one of the axes should be taken along the acceleration of the body. One of the axes should be taken along the acceleration of the body, and the other axis perpendicular to the first axis, and other axis should be taken perpendicular to the first axis. All the forces then should be resolved along these two axes, and finally Newton's second equation inside the bracket F equals to ma should be used for these two axes separately. और यहां नहीं, हर जगह हम यही करते आए हैं. हम लोग क्या करते थे, v equals to u plus at, vx ux ax. यहां हम क्या कर रहे हैं, यहां नहीं किया हुआ है सारे के सारे फोर्सेस एंड एक्सेलरेशन अलोंग द एक्स एक्सिस. यहां हमने क्या किया है, सारे के सारे फोर्सेस एंड एक्सेलरेशन अलोंग वाई एक्सिस. नेक्स्ट क्लास में इसके कुछ और एग्जांपल्स करेंगे तो ये चीजें और उठ कर आएंगी. अगर थोड़ा बहुत भी कंफ्यूजन है, परेशान मत होना, बहुत ही इजी चीज है, क्लियर हो जाएगा. Put on this and then you can leave. Thank you very much.